Okay, if you're someone who cares about fitness, or honestly, just someone trying to squeeze a bit more nutrition into an insanely busy day, you absolutely know the struggle. You scoop the powder, add the liquid, shake that bottle with literally all your might, and you're still left choking down this lumpy, bad-tasting mess just because, well, you need the fuel. Today, we're unpacking the totally fascinating science behind the perfect protein shake in this explainer, and we'll see exactly how researchers are finally solving this everyday dilemma.
I mean, seriously, have you ever drunk a gritty protein shake? Just think back to your last workout. You're completely exhausted, you're super thirsty, and you take a big sip of your drink, only to be met with that, chalky, paste-like sensation that just seems to coat the entire roof of your mouth. It's a deeply unpleasant mouthfeel. And honestly, for a lot of us, that sensory nightmare actively discourages us from hitting our daily nutritional goals.
Mixing thick, clumpy powders is just a uniquely frustrating chore, right? Now, we all know protein powder, whether it's derived from milk, like whey, or from various plant sources, is a fantastic tool. It's absolutely crucial and incredibly effective for supporting muscle synthesis right after an intense effort. The problem? Well, it's not the nutrition, it's the physical behavior of the powder itself. These ingredients have this high tendency to agglomerate, which is basically a fancy way of saying those microscopic particles love to clump together. When that clump hits your tongue, it leaves this pasty, gritty sensation that frankly ruins the whole shebang.
But what if we could actually engineer that grit away? Enter a team of what I like to call scientific detectives from the University of Reading, the University of Aberystwyth, and Arla Foods Ingredients. They decided to tackle this exact issue head-on. Their recent work, published in the International Dairy Journal, proves that the way these beverages are produced on a microscopic level profoundly influences how they actually feel in your mouth. They didn't just want to slap a Band-Aid on it and mask the bad texture with tons of sweeteners. No, they wanted to fundamentally change the liquid itself.
Okay, let's dive right into this. The core of their scientific process relies on something called membrane filtration. So this is a highly technical method that basically forces liquid through a remarkably fine membrane under precisely controlled pressure. By doing this, the researchers were able to manipulate the protein structure at a truly microscopic level. They were essentially tweaking the size and concentration of the particles to completely change how the liquid is physically perceived when it inevitably gets trapped between your tongue and your palate.
And wow, their initial results were incredibly promising. By selectively concentrating the whey protein using this specific membrane filtration technique, the researchers actually more than doubled the content of alpha-lactoalbumin in the liquid. From a purely nutritional standpoint, this is a massive win. You are getting a highly concentrated, incredibly valuable protein payload in every single drop. Twice the goodness.
But as we know, the real test is in the tasting. During the sensory analysis phase, testers noted reduced friction and a smoother texture in the mouth. The physical texture was indeed fixed. The scientific manipulation worked exactly as they hoped it would. When those sensory testers tried the modified whey protein, that dreaded grittiness, completely gone. The agglomeration was defeated and the drink flowed beautifully across the palate.
But here is where our story takes a pretty sharp turn. While they achieved this wonderfully smooth texture, it came with a totally unexpected side effect, a bitter and peppery taste. Yeah, you heard that right. When the researchers fixed the physical feel of the drink, they unintentionally created a massive flavor defect. The brand new, silky smooth protein shake suddenly tasted absolutely terrible to the sensory panel.
So this presented a really fascinating scientific mystery. Where on earth was this unwanted flavor coming from if the protein was completely pure? I mean, alpha-lactalbumin itself doesn't naturally taste bitter and peppery like this. The researchers had to take a step back and figure out what could have possibly gone wrong during their high-tech, highly controlled filtration process. They were so incredibly close to the perfect shake, but they absolutely had to find the source of this foul flavor.
And the culinary culprit? Involuntarily concentrated minerals. This was the massive light bulb moment for the research team. The bitter, peppery notes weren't coming from the modified protein at all. Instead, during that intense membrane filtration process, where they forced the liquid through fine filters to isolate the protein, they accidentally trapped and concentrated naturally occurring minerals from the source liquid. It was literally these microscopic mineral stowaways that were destroying the flavor profile.
Now, the scientists didn't just throw their hands up and quit. They just updated their game plan. They created a brand new, modified protocol. Step 1, filter the liquid under controlled pressure. Step 2, concentrate the alpha-lactalbumin to get that fantastic nutritional profile and smooth texture.
And here's the absolutely crucial new addition. Step 3, extract the bitter minerals. By carefully stripping away those bad-tasting mineral concentrations, they manage to restore the original, pleasant flavor profile while keeping that brand-new, silky texture.
Lead author Holly Giles summed up this breakthrough perfectly, stating, "It is possible to dissociate the improvement of texture from the appearance of taste defects." Now, this is a huge deal. Giles and her team basically proved that we no longer have to compromise. We do not have to choose between a good mouthfeel and a good taste. We can actually have both, provided we carefully control those production stages to separate the vital proteins from the interfering minerals.
And this brilliantly illustrates so much about the broader science of how we experience eating. You see, several sensory factors dictate our food pleasure: particle size, viscosity, friction, and flavor release. The texture of a food or drink profoundly influences our baseline willingness to even consume it. If a protein shake has a large particle size, it creates high friction in the mouth, and when that happens, your brain instantly registers displeasure and discomfort, even if the actual baseline flavor is perfectly fine.
But there's another really fascinating layer to this. Smooth texture actually enables harmonious flavor diffusion. This is the ultimate food science takeaway right here. A smooth texture isn't just about physical comfort, it's an active participant in how you taste. By using membrane filtration to alter the particle size and reduce friction, the liquid coats your tongue way more evenly. This allows the actual flavors to release uniformly and harmoniously across your palate. So by fixing the texture, you're literally allowing the flavor to taste better and more balanced. How cool is that?
Now, you might be wondering, okay, this is great for some highly funded lab, but what about my kitchen? Well, the absolute best news here is that this method is highly scalable for industry using standard equipment. The researchers didn't just prove this in a theoretical vacuum, they proved it at a pilot scale. This means manufacturers don't need to invent entirely new, impossibly expensive machines to pull this off. They can easily replicate this specific protocol to produce vastly superior protein powders for everyday consumers, athletes, and honestly anyone just trying to bump up their daily intake. So will your next post-workout shake finally be as smooth and delicious as a real milkshake? Well, thanks to these scientific detectives, the days of choking down gritty, clumpy, peppery protein paste are officially numbered. This hidden food science is completely poised to transform your everyday nutrition habits, making the healthy choice not just tolerable, but genuinely, honestly enjoyable. Thanks for joining me for today's explainer to understand the amazing mechanics behind what we drink, and I hope you never look at your shaker bottle the exact same way again.